I want to bring in Allianz Chief Economic Advisor Mohamed El-Erian, who's just gotten in the chair. Mohamed, thank you for joining us. We turn to you on these things, but you were solidly as well in the stay camp. How surprised were you, and what happens next? Speak to our investor audience here about what they should do and what they shouldn't do.
They should think of this as a major shock, and it's a shock that's not going to dissipate anytime soon. It will have political ramification. We're already seeing some of those, and it will have economic and financial ramification. So your investors should recognize that we have entered a period of intensive financial volatility. There will be opportunities for those who have cash because prices will overshoot. We're already seeing that happening, and it's going to happen even more as margin calls go out, as people are forced to close levered long positions. So there will be opportunities, but patience is really important in this market environment.
Well, I just want to let you know we heard a whoop for a moment here on the floor because the Dow is no longer negative for the year, but it is touch and go because we're down about 564 points, but certainly off the lows of the session. I think this is interesting what you're saying, where you say it's a major shock that won't dissipate anytime soon. So you believe that there may be other shoes to drop? I mean, do you get the sense that there will be other countries within the European Union who say, we'd like to do the exact same thing the UK has just done, step away from sort of the nations within the EU that are dragging everybody else down?
Yeah, the loudest message that comes out of this is that there's a major disconnect between the majority of the people and the business and the government establishment, the elites, if you like.
Right.
And expert opinion has gotten it wrong over and over again. So the message is there is this major disconnect that has to be taken seriously. The major political uncertainty is within the UK. What happens to Scotland? What happens to Northern Ireland? Can the Conservative Party unite again behind a new leader? Can they avoid another general election? There's all sorts of questions within the UK itself. When you look beyond that, if we lose one or two other EU members, it's not the end of the world. I think at the end of this, the EU will end up stronger, but that's going to be after a period of a lot of short-term volatility.
Okay, so right now we're seeing gold, tobacco, and utilities that are sort of the stalwarts at the moment besides U.S. Treasuries. It's not much to choose from, Mohamed, and looking kind of hairy at the moment.
But you will have choices. There are companies with solid balance sheets, positive cash flow that are going to overshoot on the way down. You have emerging market currencies that are going to overshoot on the way down. You're going to have a few good quality high yield names and investment grade credits that are going to overshoot on the way down. So we are going to see a massive contagion. Remember, when levered longs get the margin calls, they sell whatever they have.
Right,
so good names and bad names get...
I completely agree with you. In fact, somebody here on the floor said to me, when you need to sell something, you'll grab grandma's pearls, whatever you have to sell, not what you want to sell. But when we look at, we had just shown the European banks down double-digit percentages. Is this what you're talking about, where things will overshoot to the downside? And now's the time to kind of start picking up, if you have some cash, on some of those names like Bilbao or Santander, these banks like Deutsche Bank, which are really having an ugly, horrific day.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more hesitant about European banks. In fact, I wouldn't go there. That's because they're in a perfect storm. One, their income is being hit very hard by lower yields and flatter curves. Two, the slowdown in Europe is going to worsen the credit quality of their portfolio. Three, there are major question marks about how they operate within Europe with the UK. So European banks, for me, are high risk. I wouldn't go there. I would prefer to stay in technology, for example, and some of the emerging names.
Okay, Mohamed, thank you very much.